Ladies and gentlemen, today after 3 days of a relentless campaign by Times Now, the VVIP BMW Brat has been arrested. He stands accused of mowing down 45-year-old Kaveri Nakwa, not once but twice in the wee hours of Sunday. In fact, this justice is the question. Has justice been delivered because 60 hours later, Mihir Shah, the BMW Brat, was arrested? Certainly not. Has the system ensured a watertight case against her killer for this cruelty? Certainly not again. And did those in positions of power collude with the guilty? Possibly. Yes, let's tell you why the case against Mihir Shah, the son of Shinde Sena's leader Pradeep Shah, raises serious questions on a cover-up. Kaveri's husband has stated that if only the BMW had stopped, his wife would have been alive today. Instead, the car suddenly accelerated after Kaveri was tossed in the air. And she fell on the bonnet and fell on the road. The car accelerated and then dragged her for over 1 kilometer. The police have now shown the court CCTV footage which shows that Mihir stopped the car, dragged her out from under the wheels, and then his driver both exchanged their positions, and while the driver was reversing the car, once again crushed Kaveri, and yet Mihir Shah has been charged with section 105 of the BNS, which is the new law that has come into force, homicide not amounting to murder, instead of murder under section 103. Also, it took 10 teams of the elite Mumbai police 3 days to arrest Mihir Shah. After 72 hours, remember, there is no trace of alcohol possibly left in the blood. To add to the conspiracy, the bar manager has claimed that Mihir Shah was only drinking an energy drink, but ran up a bill of a whopping 18,000 rupees drinking energy drinks with his friends. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, Mihir was traced to a place, Virar in Palghar district, which is a known stronghold of his own father. Yet, it took the Mumbai police 3 days to find him? Really? And you want the public to believe that? This is perhaps what leads the husband of the victim Kaveri Nakwa to claim that there is a bid to cover up the crime. His fears that the rich VIP brat will get away with murder can't be unfounded. Listen.
3 दिन लगा ये अरेस्ट हुआ नहीं है, वो किया है और इधर दिखा रहा है अरेस्ट हुआ है. बताओ ना, अगर 3 दिन पहले अरेस्ट होता ना, 24 घंटे में अरेस्ट होता, उसको अरेस्ट हुआ वो बोलता है. हाँ, पिताजी को जामीन मिलने के बाद तुरंत कैसे लड़का मिलता है? इसका राज क्या है? अगर बार में रेडबुल पीने के लिए जाएगा तो मूर्ख है क्या वो? हाँ, बार में क्या रेडबुल पीने के लिए जाते हैं क्या लोग? हाँ, उधर 18,000 बिल क्या रेडबुल का होता है?
वो आसमान पे उड़ गए और जमीन पे उसके बोनेट पे आके गिर गए. बोनेट पे गिरने के बाद उसने जोर से ब्रेक लगाया. ब्रेक लगाने के बाद मैं लेफ्ट तरफ गिर गया और वो टायर के चक्के के नीचे आ गई. मेरे को लगा वो रुकेगा, वो रुका नहीं. उसने जैसे ऐसे हवा में गाड़ी चलाई कि जैसे टायर से धुआं आ गया. उसको ऐसा घसीट के लेके गया. मैं बोला रुको रुको रुको, वो नहीं रुका.
कोई गरीब आदमी को ये नहीं है. गरीब आदमी ऐसा ही मरेगा. अगर प्रशासन ऐसे ही उनके पीछे रहेगा तो गरीब आदमी मरेगा. कुछ नहीं होने वाला.
Is Pradeep Nakwa right? Are the lives of Aam Aadmi less precious? After all, remember the Pune Porsche horror, the Jessica Lal murder case, the Nitish Katara case, and the Priyadarshini Mattu case. Didn't we see a bid to cover up for the guilty and a systematic collusion by the authorities? Listen to the opposition's claim that the son of the Shiv Sena leader is being actively shielded from the law.
हिट एंड रन का तो केस है ही नहीं, क्योंकि हिट एंड रन के बाद उनके फैमिली के लोगों ने उनको रोकने का कोशिश की, उनके हस्बैंड ने, उसके बाद भी गाड़ी चलाते गए। इसका मतलब ये सिर्फ हिट एंड रन का केस नहीं है, ये मर्डर का केस है, तो उसके ऊपर मर्डर का चार्ज लेना चाहिए। हम तो वही जाके कहने वाले पुलिस स्टेशन में कि लगाना चाहिए।
There are reports that Mihir Shah's father is affiliated to the Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena. Therefore, this should not be the reason why leniency is accorded to him.
So after 60 hours, do you think that alcohol will be present in his blood sample? Absolutely not. He has very smartly swept himself. Pune case, you arrested the mother, you arrested the grandfather, you arrested the father, you arrested everybody. Why not in this?
इतने दिन 2 दिनों फरार था, ताकि कोर्ट में जब ये मामला जाएगा तब मिहिर शाह के दारू पीने का सवाल नहीं आता, क्योंकि उसका ब्लड सैंपल का रिपोर्ट नेगेटिव आएगा। तो हमारा आरोप है कि मिहिर शाह को जानबूझ के फरार किया गया क्या, क्योंकि एक पर्टिकुलर पार्टी के साथ में उसका संबंध था।
Tonight on the Newshour, I want to ask some straight questions to ascertain if there was an active bit at Kaveri. First, why was Section 105 applied and not murder under Section 103? Why take 3 days for 10 teams of Mumbai police to track a 23-year-old Mihir Shah? Isn't trace of alcohol in blood wiped away after 72 hours? The time taken by the Mumbai police to arrest him, and then after 3 days you come out and say as if you've got a major breakthrough in the case? And if Rajesh Shah, the father of Mihir Shah, planned his son's escape on the night of the accident, did the police press charges against his bail? Did they fight hard enough? Who helped Mihir in Virar, his father's area of influence in Palghar? Did his father try to get the BMW towed away and remove evidence? Can drinking Red Bull or the energy drink that's being spoken of lead to rupees 18,000 bill at the bar, as the hotel claims? Was there an attempt to switch seats and blame the driver to save the brat of a rich, powerful, politically connected papa? Well, those are the questions the government of Maharashtra needs to answer. And the legitimate question that we're asking on the Newshour tonight: was Kaveri's killer shielded? That's the only question we want to know. And can the government assure a watertight case? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Brijmohan Srivastava, spokesperson of the NCP Ajit Pawar group. Also joining me tonight is Suziben Shah, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Shinde faction. Sajid Supariwala, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray group. Sanjay Jha, author, Congress leader. Shilpa Mittal, sister of Siddharth Sharma, victim of the 2016 hit and run case involving a juvenile driving a Mercedes in Delhi. Also on the show, reliving the horror of nearly 8 years ago when she lost her brother. Also joining me, and my first question goes to senior advocate Sanjay Hegde. And I want to ask you, 3 days later when the arrest has been made, Mihir Shah is arrested, and the Mumbai police, the Maharashtra government is making this sound like a great breakthrough. Do you think this is enough, and do you think there will be enough evidence that can come up to get us justice for Kaveri Nakwa?
Well, what evidence will come up is a matter of investigation. But the investigators will have to be careful to gather all the necessary evidence. Now, you've been asking, why is it not murder? Murder requires an intention to kill. Now, this could have been, in the initial instance, could have been culpable homicide not amounting to murder or causing death by negligence. But after the woman hit the car and lay on the bonnet, thereafter, once you knew that she had gone under the wheel, then continually dragging her, not caring whether she was alive or dead. And there is a witness who says that she was alive. That subsequent act could conceivably be argued was murder. And when you stopped the car, took her out from under the wheels, switched drivers, and then drove over her again. If that was intentional, that definitely was murder. So, but we may be going ahead of the facts as they emerge in the investigation. I hope every bit of the investigatorial material is collected, properly collated, and put up before the court. Just because you have invoked lesser charges, just 1 minute.
Okay.
Just because you've put in lesser charges in the FIR doesn't mean that the charge sheet cannot contain fresh and better charges.
In most of these cases, the intention, you're talking about the intention of the driver, I'm talking about the intention of the investigation. And Sanjay Jha, I want to ask you, the intention of the investigation so far raises questions simply because the father, known to be, stated to be close to the government in power, Shiv Sena Shinde faction. The fact that the son has been absconding and emerges only 3 days later, and 3 days later, clearly, if you test him for alcohol, there will be no test that will, be able to show whether alcohol was had 3 days earlier or not. Doesn't this weaken the case? Number one. Number two, the fact that he's picked up from Virar. It took 10 teams of the Mumbai police to find this boy or a young man, 23-year-old, in Virar in Palghar district. His father's a strong man from there. Where is the guarantee that there wasn't any tampering of evidence?
Navika, you and I, come on Times Now and debate very often. And let's be very honest here. We don't have to be, beating about the bush. We have two sets of laws in our country, Navika. One set of laws for the ordinary common citizen of this country, and the second set of laws for the rich, the famous, and the powerful. And that's exactly what you're seeing playing out. We saw the example of Pune and that Porsche car. We know what happened in Lakhimpur Kheri. You're seeing the same case in BMW. And there's another famous case that nobody would ever like to maybe even utter. But I live in Mumbai, so I will tell you that. It happened almost 10 years ago. It involved a car, a very famous car called Aston Martin. But we'll not go into it because nobody had the guts to even question that case. Here is the reality. The system, Navika, is rigged in favor of those who are powerful. They can be mostly politicians. It could be businessmen. It could be film stars. It could be any celebrity. And I've seen it. Now, I've seen it here in Mumbai. I've seen it in different parts of the country. People fear the police. The police who's supposed to protect the ordinary citizen actually inspires the maximum terrifying fear. And that, I think, is the biggest failure of any political administration, whichever party is in power. I don't care whether it's a BJP, the Congress, or a third party. We have all failed ordinary citizens of this country. I was appalled when I heard about this case, Navika. And trust me, you feel sick. You feel disgusted that a woman who is already literally critical is being butchered under the wheel again. I forget, I don't know the laws which are being talked about here, but the one that you raised at the very beginning is so pertinent. This is, as Sanjay Hegde pointed out, is a deliberate and willful case of murder. I don't know what will the judiciary say and what will the prosecution and the defense say. But the truth is, and I need to say it here, I'm sure Honorable Justice Chandrachud is also watching your program or will, but he needs to know. And I'm not speaking here as a politician, but as an ordinary citizen of this country. The people of India have no faith in the judiciary. Some people will have faith, some people will have maybe a little faith, but I can tell you the majority of the people believe that they have no faith even in the judiciary.
Faith has been destroyed overall in the system, whether it's the political system, whether it is the police system, whether it is the governance model, judiciary, all parts of the system are beginning to be questioned and actually have failed the common man. And that's why when we open our phone lines, incessant calls coming in from citizens of Delhi, and we'll take a few calls on the Newshour tonight. Manas calling in from New Delhi, Rajan from Mumbai, Chandrasekhar from Pune on the phone line. Coming across to you, Manas, what's your question and to whom? Manas, can you hear me? Okay, Rajan, are you on the line? Okay, we'll try and go across to Tulsi joining us from Mysuru. Tulsi, your question?
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, Navika. I do not have a question to ask, but I have a statement to make. What I would like to say is that there is no rule of law in our country at all. You show me the man, I will tell you the rule that is applicable to you. That is the case. So we have the case of Priyadashini Mattu, Kathara, and Ruchika Girhotra. And recently there was a case in Kerala where an IAS officer has driven his car, drunken car, driven the person over a journalist. He killed that person. And immediately he got admitted himself in a hospital and refused to give his blood sample for testing. So these people, including
there people refuse to give blood samples. Here we get the blood sample, but it's just too late. Thank you very much, Tulsi ji, for joining us. Joining us now is Sarvesh calling in from Bengaluru. Good evening. And do you think this is once again a case that we've seen many a times, the rich and powerful from the political class getting away literally with murder?
Good evening, Navika ji. See, I would like to tell you one thing here.
Go on, Sarvesh ji.
Yeah.
Can you switch off the television in your room, because otherwise we won't be able to hear you?
Yeah. Good evening, Navika ji. This is the Brute and the Brat case. Brat's father is a brute. And in India, anything can happen and anything can be very easily solved. The judgment is depending only on the police action. And the police action can be reverted in any direction. This much only I wanted to tell you. Thank you very much.
Well said. Brute, it's the story of the brute and the brat. And we're seeing what's happening. Vijay also calling in from Bengaluru. Good evening, Vijay. What do you think? Do you think not charging a murder charge and just saying it homicide, culpable homicide, not amounting to murder is a charge that's enough against Mihir Shah?
Absolutely not, madam. I feel frustrated. I feel angered. My blood is boiling.
We're losing your voice there, but yes, we all feel frustrated. And I want to ask you, Susie Ben Shah, 3 days later, the government is almost saying as if this is a big breakthrough. But frankly, nobody has any faith in the investigation or the manner in which this arrest has been done or the charges that have been slapped on Mihir Shah. The brute and the brat, as the viewers of Times Now are calling. How are you going to ensure that justice is done to Kaveri Nakwa?
Good evening to all, and let me tell you, everyone on the panel, and I extend my sincere condolences to the Nakwa family. This is indeed a tragic traffic accident done by a rash brat, rash and a careless man, irresponsible man. We have no sympathies for him. As far as the political influence is concerned, just give a small example. Assuming, God forbid, a son of a journalist commits such a crime, a heinous crime, can you blame the entire, your journalist friends that they are responsible for this brash accident? Similarly, Mr. Shah, it's a coincidence that he's a member of Shiv Sena. The day the accident happened, the same day, our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Eknath Shinde, he's known to be the common man CM, went on record to say, howsoever and whosoever the privilege the man is, no favor, no fear, he will be taken to task. As far as the Mumbai police is concerned,
and after the CM said this, it took 3 days, ma'am, and 10 teams of
Navika,
Mumbai
allow me
police
to
to
complete.
get this boy, or rather Mihir Shah, the young man from Palghar, which is the area of influence of his own father, and you're comparing to a journalist child's case? Journalists don't have people sitting in positions of power in the government. No journalist has relatives and their own people sitting in places of power in the police and in the government, ma'am. How dare you bring in journalists into this?
Navika ji.
How dare you bring in journalists into this?
Navika ji, it's not the question of daring anyone. It is just an analogy and should be taken as such.
No,
the only simple thing that
it's an incorrect analogy. What is correct about this analogy? I want to get in the others. Is this analogy a correct analogy, Sanjay Hegde? Do journalists have, their own ilk sitting in governments as chief ministers, as home ministers, and do they have their, family sitting in places of power in the police? Is this an analogy that is fair?
No, I don't think so. And journalists are unlikely to have children with access to Porsches and BMWs. I know the vast majority of journalists live a very ordinary middle class life, and I don't think the analogy is right. Susie Ben Shah may say journalist, and next she'll say lawyer, she'll say somebody else. What Susie Ben may have meant to say is that it could have happened with anyone. That is, I think, what she wants to say, but she may have misspoken. But certainly, most journalists do not have it.
Just because a journalist is asking questions, and that is certainly not acceptable to the class of power that our netas belong to. So, Susie Ben Shah, I come back to you and ask. Yes, I've worked 35 years. I still can't afford a BMW or a Porsche.
Allow me to complete. Navika ji, let me say this. Allow me to complete. It was an analogy, and if you think you are hurt, my apologies. What I was trying to say is that no influence will work on this case. We have gone on record. Our CM, who's going to deliver justice, has gone on record to say that no fear or favor will be done. Howsoever privileged you are, no one will be said. The father within 1 hour at the
So let me get in Mr. Subramaniam joining us from Bengaluru and Priyadarshini joining us from Mumbai. Priyadarshini, to you first. Susie Ben Shah of the Shiv Sena Shinde group says that because the Chief Minister has assured justice will be done. Do you believe her?
I don't, absolutely. And first of all, thanks for taking up this matter. This is actually a very shameful event to be discussed like this over here. My question to Susie Ben Shah is, who will pay the lawyer charges, for this poor family?
The best of lawyers will come for the other side, Mihir Shah. Rest assured, the most expensive lawyers in Mumbai will be out for Mihir Shah. But yes, nobody for Pradeep Nakwa to fight his wife's case. Subramaniam ji from Bengaluru, what's your question?
Very good evening, Navika. Thank you so much for putting me on the air. I have a question to all the panelists. We have such a pseudo-secular set of laws that a common man who pays the tax is, held back. The laws are applicable to him, whereas the top brass always escape. Can you believe it, Navika? You drive a car or an automobile which is BS6 version 2 certified, will be stopped by cops asking for a pollution certificate. But on such matters, they will just leap over it. Be it the judiciary, be it the executive, and be it the politicals. They all just
see the dejection of the common people. Please, I want you, Susie Ben Shah and Brijmohan Srivastava, to please hear the dejection in the voices of the common people on the streets. Srinivasan joining me from Chennai. Good evening, Mr. Srinivasan, and good evening, Ajit Kapoor ji calling in from Mumbai. Mr. Srinivasan, are you sure that justice will be done in this case? The police and the government have done enough?
No, absolutely not. Naturally, it's not going to happen. We have forgotten the Pune case. But more than the law and the judiciary, I actually have a larger question to the parents who have such blackguards as their kids. What is the responsibility the parents are showing? Allow them to binge drink, blow up from 20,000, 30,000 rupees in a matter of an hour, then drive a car which is not even registered, probably the insurance has lapsed. How do they get away with it? Don't the parents feel responsible that they are letting their kids, these are kids, I don't know whether they are 30 years old, 20 years old, there's absolute juveniles, absolute blackguards, they're being let loose on the road, and what are the parents doing about it? I mean, the law is not going to work.
Fair question. Parents also have to answer this, but then parents are strong men in politics. Their children feel they can get away literally with blue murder. Ajit Kapoor from Mumbai, do you think it's the parents' fault, or in this case, do you think the government and the police have put the right charge and should be feeling elated because they've arrested Mihir Shah, 23-year-old brat, after 3 days?
First and foremost, I would like to say that the charge should be of murder, and murder, nothing else. And secondly, delaying it by 3 days, that is one thing which is absolutely preposterous and uncalled for. In my view, they have to take it very seriously. And what happens to the ordinary person? You look at the husband and the daughter crying and weeping for help, and there is no help coming in. I'm surprised that none of the politicians are paying a visit also. No phone call, no visit. I'm really appalled. I'm absolutely appalled.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And Brijmohan Srivastav ji, करीब आदमी है, कोई आंसू पोंछने भी नहीं गया. 3 दिन बाद बेटा मिला है पालघर से, पापा के स्ट्रॉन्ग डिस्ट्रिक्ट से, और 10 teams of Mumbai police, it took 3 days to find him from the backyard of the papa.
Actually, Navika ji, I totally agree with the feelings of the all panelists as well as the family, the victim family also. It's no doubt the police has to take a strong action immediately, and anyhow they have to find that person. No doubt the Chief Minister has spoken very loudly and clear to the and given instruction to the police, act as per the rules, act as per the law, and don't see that he belongs to a Shiv Sena family. It's no matter for us, and being on behalf of my government of Maharashtra, I want to assure all the peoples that the government will take a strong action against these peoples, and anyhow these people will not be escape out. This much I can guarantee you. The investigation under the process. So it's not the right time to say that the sections can not be increased. 100% sections can be increased. Mr. Sanjay Hegde has spoken very rightly. It's the accident and the murder is quite different issues. So if the police feel that it is a type of murder, 100% he will book under those sections also. Nobody will give any support. He may be a political person, his father may be a Shiv Sena worker, but neither my government, neither the Shiv Sena, neither the NCP, nobody will give protection to them. This is very loud and clear.
Sir,
this much I can assure you.
3 din baad, if the brat has been arrested, can you find a way in which you can prove there was alcohol in his bloodstream? Can you prove? With all the assurances that you are giving, the fact that he's been arrested 3 days later removes any possibility of proof of alcohol for the 18,000 rupee bill that he got in that bar. You still can't prove it because he'll say, I had Red Bull. I want to get in Shilpa Mittal. It can be any government. It can be any city. It is always the common man, the man on the street who suffers. The rich and mighty get away. Shilpa Mittal, what's your experience on this?
Yes, it's very true. Actually, I've been fighting the case in court for past 8 years. So I think overall, see, the police still has a time frame to file an FIR. But on the other hand, the judiciary has no time limit. You won't believe, for 8 years now, I have just been fighting the case. No single effective trial has taken place because there are so many loopholes in the law that they keep challenging it in the higher court, and I keep going from juvenile court to the children's court to the high court to the Supreme Court, and this happens for every decision taken. So far in 8 years I am still fighting that he should be charged as 304 and not 304A. So you can imagine how frustrating it is. And I'm sorry to just, I don't know, I've been fighting the case for 8 years. What I have understood is it's a good thing that they can't find alcohol in his system. Otherwise, the judiciary is such, they will send him to rehab, where he needs correction. He should be punished. He murdered somebody. I'm actually, I'll be actually thankful to the parent that they did this blunder so that he can't be found as, he wasn't in his senses. And that is why he hit somebody. He was completely in his senses. He should be charged for murder. This is murder.
I understand where you're coming from, Shilpa. And Sanjay Hegde, the point Shilpa raises, for every step, from the trial court to the high court to the Supreme Court, for every step, is the system so loaded against the common man that sometimes you lose the battle even before you begin fighting?
Well, I have great sympathy for Shilpa, and there have been very many women who have had very unfortunate circumstances and who have fought through, like Neelam Krishnamurthy during the cinema fire case. Unfortunately, our system does not really protect victims or have or have anything to their favor. They can at best assist the public prosecutor and see to it that not too many adjournments are taken. We also are not necessarily a law-abiding society. We are sometimes a law-using society. We tend to take advantage of every loophole that the law has. And yes, we lawyers also, because a client comes and the client says, can you try this in a higher court? We are bound by our instructions. Maybe if there are particular dedicated courts only for these kind of cases. And most importantly, why exactly do we allow these cars, these fast cars, which are designed for international expressways, to operate within cities? Everybody goes around with a Merc, a BMW, a Porsche, and then post midnight or something, things happen. At least let's begin with regulating the use of these cars, especially by the young, after a certain time of the day. I think that is one. I
don't know. Is that the solution, Sajid Supariwala, spokesperson of the Uddhav Thackeray group of Shiv Sena? Do you think at this point we are talking about the Shiv Sena Shinde Sarkar in Maharashtra, but it could have been anywhere else? Our end result, common people suffer and powerful people get away. Whether it's one government, one political party in one state, somebody else in another place.
Navika ji, you answered this question before also. You could see the pain in the people who have been calling up. On the common man's, everybody's tongue, there is only one thing. We want justice. Now, justice delayed is justice denied. As you yourself have said, and all the panelists also have been saying, I'm saying the same thing. After 3 days, this person comes, this brat comes, and instead of getting arrested, as per the father's statement, which I saw earlier, he said that he has surrendered himself, whatever the case might be, but he had been very smartly given an advice to be away for more than 72 hours so that the trace of alcohol is not there in his blood, and he would get scot-free after some time, after the case is fought. And it will prolong, it will go on and on and on. Talking about the common people or the powerful people, there is a responsibility of certain people. Like now this Susi Bain had also said that we will do justice.
But I also want to ask the question to you and everybody, Navika ji, that the person has been killed. Whether that person had alcohol or not had alcohol is another topic right now. Suppose he had an alcohol, suppose after 72 hours there is no trace of alcohol, he should still not be able to go scot-free because that lady had been already injured. You only said, and all the people around, the people who were around that place, that he had dragged the person along with the car.
And that is why we are saying, why is it not being seen as murder? Why is it only negligent driving or rash driving? Well, more callers calling in. Ravi calling in from Bengaluru, Abhishek calling in from Singapore. Ravi, to you first. Do you think, as Shilpa here said, 8 years, different levels of the judiciary, the investigation, the power structure, the way the system's loaded, do you think we can hope for justice or, do some of these things never change as far as the equations, power equations in India work?
Navika, good evening. Nice talking to you. This is Ravi from Bangalore. I hope you can hear me.
We can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I again, this is again a classic case of justice where the justice is not available for the common man. Okay, this is point number one. Point number two, there are other can of worms which open up. Why was the bar open up till 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 a.m.? I mean, there is a rules where you should shut down the bar. I mean, people are drinking till 3:30.
I think Mumbai changed those rules. If I'm not wrong, Mumbai changed those rules, and 24/7 you can get a drink, and then you have a rich daddy, so you will have your BMW, and you can drive sloshed on the streets. I think that's the way it works. Frustrating. It angers me, but that's the way it is. Abhishek, calling in from Singapore, I want to ask you, Abhishek, in other countries, your connections don't matter. The law is clear, and anybody who errs is actually put behind bars. Why can't we get a system wherein discretion becomes zero and people face the law the way they have to and the way they should?
That's actually true, because in countries outside India, developed countries, at least I can speak where I live from, there is nothing about how much money you have. Law is law, and it's implemented exactly the way it is for everyone. Ma'am, I had one point, and it's a great honor to talk to you. And secondly, I'm going to make it very clear, I have no political party affiliation over here. But the political people who are on the panel today, I want to ask them a question. And I don't intend that this should happen to them. But if you guys had lost one of your loved ones in this fashion, irrespective of your power, but there is somebody else who is more powerful than you, would you buy the same arguments that you're giving right now? That yes, we will.
Susie Ben Shah, the analogy is back to haunt you. Please respond.
Navika ji, as I said, what I meant to say was that you can't paint every politician with the same brush. It was just a coincidence that his father is a member of the Shiv Sena. As far as the delay in the police arrest of the Mihir Shah is concerned, the police will have the reason, and yes, they should have acted swiftly. Now, coming back to the drugs or alcohol that he might have taken, let me assure you that that is not the only conclusive evidence. There are so many other evidences. The police has moved swiftly, whether it be the CCTV, whether it be the club. And let me assure you, the charge sheet will be watertight. The best prosecutor will be employed by the state, and this case will be won. As far as murder is concerned, he will be convicted, Mihir. If the investigator says so. As far as the murder part is concerned,
Mr. Narasimha joins me from Bengaluru. Mr. Narasimha, Susie Ben Shah of the Shiv Sena of Maharashtra government, that party, she represents the party. She says there are other evidence, and in this case, the police will act. Strongest prosecutors will be put. Do you think the common people will believe this and find some solace that justice will take place?
The initiative comes from the trio who are heading the Maharashtra government, Eknath, Shinde ji, Fadnavis ji, and Ajit Pawar ji. And not only giving statements in the press, giving proper instructions to the police department and the legal department. Unless there is sincerity, we cannot expect justice to poor people.
But do you see sincerity or not? One word answer, yes or no?
Pardon?
Have you seen sincerity so far in this case?
No way. Because
well, there you answered it, Mr. Narasimha, and that's where we are at the crossroads, demanding justice for Kaveri, for her daughter, for her husband Pradeep Nakhwa. The fact of the matter is the arrest or the surrender, call it what you will, is it enough to prove to us that yes, there will be a watertight case and Mihir Shah will be brought to book, or is the power equation going to wait for public opinion to turn its concentration to something else, some other issue that comes up tomorrow, and meanwhile, this case will see the same future as other cases of the rich and mighty have seen in the past, which is down in the dustbin, and a struggle like Shilpa Mittal's to fight for justice. 8 years she's been going on. Will it be the same road for this one? Because there are powerful people involved? It's a question every single citizen of India asks the political class. The people who actually sit in police, the people in judiciary. The same question goes out. Will the system give us justice, or will it let down the common man yet again? It's an existential question that faces us. We need to answer it. We have the laws. Can we please implement them? And can we remove the power of discretion from here? That's the question. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on the debate tonight. On the other